Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report, and I'm here this week with Russ Eddy, who is one of my great fishing friends, and we're sharing experiences fishing has brought to our lives. So, Russ, tell us another great story like you have throughout the week.
This one involves one of our great friends, Wild Bill Losey, rest his soul. He introduced you and I'm sure you remember, years ago, not long after my wife and I moved to Canton. And so he and I, a few years after that, found ourselves in a little backwater channel of the St. Lawrence River in one of our canoes, and we were going out there and we found this little spot and we were catching. Actually, I think maybe you introduced me to this spot. And we were catching fish in this backwater. It's more like a pond because it's so far back, the water's not moving. And I was catching crappie we call them crappie from the Midwest, on a fly rod. And I was catching one after another. It was so cool. Well, as that day progressed, we saw an osprey that had perched on a limb of a tree right near the bank of this little backwater. And we were on the opposite side of it. And the wind was just right, so we were being pushed towards it. And I told William, just don't move. Let's just be as quiet as we can and see how close the wind takes us to this bird. And we got closer. We were halfway there. We're a quarter way there. We're just 10 feet away from the bank of the pond, and the bird is just up there on the perch, closer to an osprey than I've ever been. It leaps up off of its perch, starts flying, hovering towards us. A few feet right in front of the bow of the canoe, dives straight down, splashes, disappears, gone. I count one, I didn't count, but 1, 2, about 3 seconds go by. It erupts back out in a huge explosion, and it's got a small northern pike in its talons, and it flies off. And we were just like, we looked at each other like, did we just see that? It was just absolutely phenomenal.
That's amazing. And that's really the essence of what fishing has become to us in our life, is we've gone through all these different experiences in getting to the point that we are at right now. You know, fishing is our ticket to the great unknown, which is part of the world around us. And I know it spurred so many other thoughts with you. And, you know, I wanted to let people know the reason you and I haven't seen each other in a while is that you spend your winters actually teaching kids how to ski up on Titus Mountain.
Well, we do. We have a great school program. I've kind of withdrawn a little bit from the quite a bit from the weekday school. I helped create it and helped get it established, and so I work really hard on the weekends now up at Titus still, and I've kind of pulled back from the school groups, but there's an amazing program going on up at Titus, and we teach a lot of North Country school kids, thousands and thousands actually over the years, and every year just about every fourth grader in the area comes and learns to ski. So we give a great opportunity to a lot of folks that might not have it otherwise.
Well, let me ask you this. When you and I first became friends, one of the things that I asked you if you could help me with was the fishing school that we started with Cornell Extension. And this school took place in all the public schools around. And that was isn't that kind of your roots in doing this? What did you take from doing that school teaching kids about fishing?
I mean, everything. It's about the mechanics are pretty much the same, but teaching a different group of people. Everyone receives the information differently, so you have to adjust. The puzzle is in fishing or skiing. The puzzle is, how do you figure out to connect with what that kid needs in particular to get to the same skill set all the way down, but each kid learns it differently, and each kid brings a different skill set to the table, and the puzzle is figuring out what they need from you to get to the end goal.
Well, to me, the common denominator is that both of these programs, the skiing program that you do and the fishing program that we started back years ago, both sort of serve the same thing, and they expose kids to the world around us, and I think that is so crucial. What do you see happen with these kids as they become more and more involved in the outdoors of what we do?
Oh, it's just amazing. I mean, everyone knows that these days, kids, just because of the nature of the culture, are locked into screen time, and they're locked into their own. There's less outdoor activity going on for this bunch of kids than when we came up. And any way we can get them outside and active, you just see their personalities light up. You see something. You see some light inside them become a flame that might not have been there otherwise.
That's truly powerful, and that's exactly what I feel, And when I come on the radio, I try to use this as a point where we can discuss with the people around us the tremendous reward and need for bringing our kids and the rest of our families into some of the gems of being in the outdoors, and that's what this really entails. So until the next time, Russ, I've got something I want to talk to you about the next show that we do together. So until next time, this is Don Meissner and Russ Eddy with the North Country Fishing Report.